Welcome to Blue Talks.
Thank you. I'm Connie Steinman. And today I'm taking you on a journey with me on the Via Francisgena. It's an ancient medieval pilgrimage route followed by countless pilgrims. This path brings self-discovery as I overcome obstacles and fear of the unknown. In total, I walked 2,100 kilometers alone, and I'm deaf. Like in life, you can start anywhere on the path, on your journey. Just pick a starting place and begin. I walked from London to Rome, and I'm deaf. Pilgrim. A pilgrim is a person who travels to a holy place as an act of religious devotion. A pilgrimage is the journey to the sacred place for spiritual reasons. Numerous pilgrims have walked to Rome to see the Pope. Notable kings, queens, and saints, including prominent people such as the Archbishop of Canterbury, Charlemagne, and St. Francis of Assisi. I wanted to follow these great people's footsteps and prove I could do something extraordinary and see the Pope. It was a journey of self-discovery as I experienced the world firsthand. I walked through the battlefields of Joan of Arc. I saw what Napoleon saw. I walked through the battlefields and cemeteries of the British and French. I saw where Jules Verne lived. I experienced the experience that happened here. It was a calling to do more than I could do at home. The route follows through country roads, religious sites, and small villages. Pilgrims travel through 4 countries. That's England, France, Switzerland, and Italy, using a map app or guidebooks. Okay. Pilgrims cross the Via Francisgena seeking spiritual enrichment, cultural experiences, and connections with the past and present. For me, it was an opportunity of self-discovery, personal freedom, transformation, interacting with diverse cultures, and I embraced my solitude as a way of self-reliance and self-resilience. Freedom from inner self-limiting beliefs, and gratitude, self-love, and inner peace. It took me 47 days to walk from London, England, to Paris, Switzerland. I walked 20 to 35 kilometers a day. I crossed country roads. I cut through herds of cattle and horses. I walked down canals, through barren fields with no markings. I hiked up cliffs, steep and narrow cliffs in the Alps. I walked through dense woods filled with wild boar. I had to follow pilgrim symbols that were painted on trees and buildings and landmarks. But I crossed through a logging area and all the trees were cut down, so there were no pilgrim signs. I had to listen for traffic, but it was kind of hard because I'm deaf, you know? So I had to jump over huge cut down logs of 8 feet. And I had to trudge through muddy pools of water. There were swimming pools of muddy water. I had to trudge through that and then through thick brush, thorny brush to get to the road to consult my app. And then in France, there was no water. So I had to stop bicyclists or knock on doors to ask for water. And then in Switzerland, I had to walk with my stomach pressed against the mountain wall for hours because there was no shoulder to walk on. and I had about a 5-foot clearance ahead of me around the bend, so I couldn't see the oncoming cars. And then in France, they have like a siesta. So so when you arrive into the town, everything was closed. So you had to wait till the cafes opened at night. I stayed in the most amazing accommodations. I walked 10 to 12 hours a day, arriving at my place of stay late in the evening. I stayed with host families, castles, monasteries, churches, convents, a tree house, some nice hotels, Airbnbs, bed and breakfasts, campground, and in one monastery, the Knights of Templars have lived. And the nuns cooked for us, too, at evening and morning. As I approached the midway point on the Via Francisgena at 1,050 kilometers, which is in Switzerland, at the top of the Alps before you drop into Italy. It was 26 kilometers to get there, with an 1,100 meter increase in elevation, with a 950 meter incline to the pass. I was advised at my last hostel that this was a 2-day hike, but I did not listen. I'm very stubborn. And I did it in 1 day. I was very exhausted. I had been hiking 8 hours that day already, and I was determined to make it. And this is what happens when you don't listen to people with more experience. As I continued to hike to the last 2 kilometers to the St. Bernard's Pass, the altitude reached 2,500 meters. Imagine that, 3 times the height at the Empire State Building in New York City. That's 3 times the height. Wow. Nothing at this elevation can compare to the challenge and the awe-inspiring heights. As I approached the last 2 kilometers, my path narrowed down to a 1-foot ledge at 2,500 meters high. There was a cool breeze. I could smell the flowers blooming. The snow filled the crescents of the mountains. And I looked above to the last peak. I saw a monument, a cross, high above the peak with the blue sky as a background. And I thought, I'm not a mountain goat, and I'm not a mountain climber. So I put myself on the ledge. I stepped out. I grabbed a cable wire with about 3 inches thick that was bolted into the wall around the mountain ledge. And I stepped out there. I took baby steps. I looked down, and the cars were the size of an ant colony. I was trembling. I was scared. I stepped slowly and slowly. I breathing deeply, and suddenly rocks started clattering from the side of the Alp, and rocks dropping, down below. And my foot slipped, and the bolt bolted out of the wall, and the cable dropped, and I hung on, and my body smacked against the wall, and I struggled to get my footing, and I was panicking. I was praying, and I say, oh my God, today's not a good day to die. And I kept struggling to get my footing, and I started praying. I closed my eyes and I said, I want to live. Please, Jesus, help me. And suddenly I had a vision. I felt the presence of Jesus. And I was walking this tightrope. And his hands were cupped beneath me, and he said, you can fall either way, and I got you. I took a deep breath, and I prayed, and I said, thank you, I really want to live. And I kept struggling to find my footing. And I clapped onto the cable, and I slowly heaved myself up. It seemed like eternity. And I finally got up back on the ledge, and I stood like Donald Duck with my feet sideways. And I pulled myself closer to the cable and to the wall, and I baby stepped around the ledge, around the path until I found another ledge. And then I looked up, looking for the Pilgrim symbol, which is a yellow pilgrim painted on a rock. And I saw it high above me on this ledge. So I got on all fours and I crawled onto it. And I collapsed. I was exhausted. And I rested for a while. And I realized that the fear had left me and love emerged. And I'm never truly alone. That's what I learned. And in the beginning of this, I was all healthy and energetic, and I thought it was just going to be a long road to Rome, But little did I know, and other people knew, that I'd be climbing mountains, crossing rivers, scaling mountain walls, trekking through unmarked wilderness. I had to rely on my sense of direction and survival skills. And the biggest lesson I learned was to trust myself. You don't need much in life to be perseverant. I developed inner peace and my place in the world. And no matter what I'm faced with, any challenges or anything, I will always find my way.